You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, Kendrick Lamar, you up to bat. Bah! It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. Elevate more in 2024. Elevate more in 2024. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. Make sure you hit the like button. But we back with another TikTok compilation. This is about Kendrick Lamar. You know, he just dropped the album. So I was like, why not do a compilation of Kendrick Lamar, different things, different stories, and let's just learn more about Kendrick Lamar. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. I also got a TikTok playlist. If you into this type of stuff, you can go binge watch it. But if you make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. Let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
Kendrick Lamar just shocked the hip-hop world with the release of his new album GNX at noon on a Friday. I've listened to the entire thing twice already, so let me give you my honest thoughts. GNX is Kendrick's most unique album to date, where we saw him experiment with all kinds of deliveries and production styles. You get head boppers on songs like Hey Now and Peekaboo, then you get songs like Dodger, Blue, and Gloria, where Kendrick displays a laid-back delivery with wavy production. We also saw him use an aggressive delivery on Reincarnated, which was a song that reminded me a lot of Hit 'Em Up by Tupac. Kendrick has always been known for his strong lyrical content, which was displayed on songs like Whacked Out Murals, where we see him talk about the disappointment he felt when the hip-hop community was negligent to the announcement of his Super Bowl 2025 performance in New Orleans, especially hometown native Lil Wayne, who was someone Kendrick looked up to during his early days. Kendrick talks about how Nas was the only one to congratulate him. We get the 6th installment of the Heart series, which I wasn't entirely sure was ever going to happen, considering Drake stole that title for one of his diss tracks. The feature list was one of the most interesting aspects of the entire album. The list was highlighted by SZA, but besides a few, many of the artists I've never listened to. Overall, I thought this was a super fun album from Kendrick, where we saw him steer clear of his traditional sound, which I really appreciated. It didn't necessarily blow me away, but I still enjoyed it thoroughly. Though it's early, I'm going to give it an initial 8 out of 10.
Okay, what y'all rate the album?
Kanye posting this on his Instagram recently is indeed a diabolical diss to Drake. So Kendrick Lamar was featured in that song by Kanye called No More Parties, but it's not that simple. That Kendrick Lamar verse is considered one of Kendrick Lamar's greatest verses of all time. So Ye posting that is basically telling Drake, you don't want this action. And if you think you want this action, go back and listen to this song. In fact, Kendrick went so crazy in that song. Kanye started his verse off by saying scary. And then Kanye proceeds to have one of his greatest verses of all time because he was so inspired by how crazy Kendrick went. Y'all feel what I'm saying? He says in his song, the writer's block is over, MCs cancel your plan. That's what Kanye said. Kendrick Lamar took Kanye out of a writer's block because he had a verse that was so hard. I understand how hard
crazy.
You gotta go on a song. Anybody like this finna be a competition, guys? I want you to realize something. The only reason I could think of that Kendrick is this mad is because you guys have uttered his name in the same sentence as people he thinks that are less than him and his craft. And that made him this mad. You can't win against somebody like that. And I could kind of see where he's coming from. If Paul Pierce hits me up and goes, man, me and Jordan was the GOATs, and Jordan start throwing hands with him, I'm going to tell Paul, you might have deserved that one, bro.
Okay.
Talk about who's featured on Kendrick Lamar's album. Since the features are not listed and some of you probably don't know who you're listening to, I'm going to tell y'all who's featured. First and foremost, Mustard produced 2 songs off this album. He produced Hey Now and TV Off. Off the first listen, Man in the Garden and TV Off are 2 standouts for me. I'm fucking with Reincarnated heavy. The Heart Part 6 is such a transparent song, gang. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Heart series all the time. And I'm fucking with the album, gang, but those are standouts for me off the first listen, gang. I'll come back. This ain't an album review. Let me tell y'all who's featured on the album. All right? So I know during the whole rap battle, Mustard dropped his album and he didn't sell a lot and it was cool to clown him. But Mustard is independent, you feel me? So his album sales are scaled a little bit differently versus people that are signed to major labels.
Right.
And he produced Not Like Us and he's eating really good, trust me. You feel me? So Mustard, along with doing Not Like Us, is on 2 songs on this album. We also got a scissor feature, Deyra Barrera, Inc., Wale. We got Cheek 8 that was on Schoolboy Q's album. We got Hitta J 3. who was on the cover of To Pimp a Butterfly with Kendrick and a bunch of other people. We got Sam Du, Dodie 6. We got Siete. You feel me? We got Peso and Young Threat. This is a very West Coast coded album. So they was like, Kendrick don't put on nobody from the West Coast. Kendrick don't do no features. Kendrick don't do this. He gave looks to a bunch of people y'all probably don't listen to in y'all day-to-day fucking life. This is a very West Coast album. From the album name, to the album cover, to the production on the beats, to the features on the album, this is an extremely West Coast, LA, Compton album, gang. I'm not gonna hold you. But yeah, man, I'm trying to give you as much information as I can. You feel me? Until next time, I'm out of here. Make sure you follow this account. Follow the backup account linked in the caption, linked in the bio. I'm out of here. You shitting me?
Okay.
Eminem has reacted to Kendrick Lamar's new surprise album, which was released without any notice. Kendrick sure knows how to make waves in the music world. He recently dropped GNX, his first album in 2 years, completely unannounced on November 22nd. Featuring 12 tracks, the surprise release sent fans into a frenzy for both its sonical and lyrical content. Hours before the album's release, Kendrick teased the project with a cryptic 1-minute video for the title track. The eerie clip shows him stepping out of a car in a shadowy garage before rapping by another car's headlights. GNX follows the success of 2022's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and caps a year in which he reigned supreme. His summer feud with Drake produced the chart-topping diss track Not Like Us, which hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and racked up 5 Grammy nominations. Because of the success he's had with his singles this year and now the new album, many people consider this to be Kendrick's biggest career peak so far, and many believe this year's material has opened up his fan base to an even bigger worldwide amount of people. Kendrick has recently said he's happy to represent the genre and wants to do the best job he can for both the genre and for music fans. And now, even Eminem has shared his reaction to the album. He did this in an Instagram comment underneath a post on the album. In Eminem's comment, he said, "This has to be listened to front to back, man. Masterpiece." Eminem was heavily praised for this. A lot of fans consider that Kendrick has had the bigger year out of the two this year, so people have been happy and praised Eminem for supporting somebody else who is currently being more successful. Although Eminem has obviously had a lot of feuds, he's always also been known for respecting and celebrating great rap music, and this is yet another time when he's done that. Fans online are speaking up on this. One fan said, "I'm not surprised Eminem is praising Kendrick. He's probably trying to stay relevant by associating himself with the biggest name in hip-hop right now. It's all about maintaining his legacy and staying in the conversation." And finally, one more fan said, "I knew Eminem would be all..."
Eminem trying to be like, he trying to hop on the Kendrick Lamar bandwagon because he needs him to stay relevant?
All over this. He's always been a champion of lyrical talent and innovative sounds. Kendrick is at the peak of his powers right now, and it's awesome to see Eminem acknowledge that. For this video's comment question, is the album overrated? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching.
Make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button if you haven't.
Tyler the Creator has just spoken up about Kendrick Lamar's brand new album GNX and gives his review of it. All day, Tyler the Creator has been absolutely fanboying over Kendrick Lamar's brand new album GNX. As you can see right here, earlier today, he went on Twitter to post about one of the songs Kendrick Lamar dropped on this album called Hey Now. And Tyler also went to his Instagram stories to just spam all the music he was listening to today, with a lot of the songs consisting off of Kendrick Lamar's brand new project. As you can see right here, he was really enjoying the song Peekaboo. He also reposted the song Hey Now. And it even got to the point that Tyler the Creator changed his bio on Twitter to one of the songs off of GNX called Turn This TV Off. I can't say that I'm surprised with Tyler the Creator really enjoying Kendrick Lamar's brand new album, because on Tyler the Creator's last project, Chromacropia, on the song Ratata, he literally shouts out Kendrick when he says, "I'm the biggest in the city after Kenny, that's a fact now." Just a few weeks ago, Tyler the Creator posted this to his Instagram story, which said "the homies," and it was obviously a photo of Kendrick Lamar in a magazine. Tyler the Creator always showing his endless love and support to Kendrick Lamar. I really feel like it would be cool if one day we end up seeing these two hop on a song together, because it would be so freaking good. And not only that, but these two both dropped one of the best rap albums of the entire year, of Tyler the Creator dropping Chromacropia. That was a masterpiece. And now Kendrick Lamar dropping GNX. These two guys are in their prime, so just imagine if they came together.
I like seeing the support, man. I like that.
Hey, Drake, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. You took his Heart series and did so bad on it, people pretending like it didn't happen, just for him to take it back and reincarnate it. I'm also glad he brought up the whole Snoop Dogg thing. him posting Taylor Made and all that. Because I thought if anyone would have been furious at that, like would have just sparked something off, it would have been Snoop in that scenario. So it was always weird. But yo, I still think he throwing shots at Cole too. You wanna know why? He says the irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. And then he brought up Nas being the only one to congratulate him about the Super Bowl. J. Cole has a song called Let Nas Down. And it's about Nas being disappointed in J. Cole's previous work about not having enough lyricism on something. Not working hard enough as far as his pen is concerned. Isn't that ironic now in Kendrick's perspective that he let Lil Wayne down because of his hard work? I'm not reaching, you are.
Okay. People coming up with...
This is how I knew that Kendrick was going to win this whole entire battle, because of this one bar. If you in an argument with somebody and a man get into mid-prayer and then continues, red flag. Drake didn't see no red flags. Let me read the verse. God, my confession is yours, but who am I if I don't go to war? There's opportunity living with laws. I think that's how he said it. But the point I'm making is, he didn't see no red flags. This nigga's talking to God mid-verse, talking about who am I if I don't go to war. I saw a meme that said he was acting like he was a holy knight. You gotta see red flags. He was just too cocky. Drake was too cocky. Pause. He was very arrogant. He need to lock in, man. How you didn't see these red flags? Euphoria. The start of the song was him talking calmly, telling him exactly what was going to happen. But he didn't listen. He was too arrogant. This is a message to everybody. When you in the battle with somebody, you don't care if it's a disagreement. Listen to the words that they say. Because red flags is key to winning anything, surviving anything. Listen to the red flags.
That's real.
Peace. Divine.
Start running them red flags out there. Slow down.
I might be a little delusional, and that's okay. I'll stand in my delusion. But what if I told y'all I have a feeling that GNX by Kendrick Lamar, it's not an official album, but it's more so of a mixtape. Walk with me for a second. GNX is unlike any of Kendrick's other albums. It's truly cohesively a love letter to West Coast hip hop and like the culture. But there's a lot of it that reminds me of Untitled, Unmastered. They're not necessarily throwaway cuts, but like none of the songs really transition into each other, and that's not a big reason. But I also feel like it's interesting that Euphoria, Meet the Gram, 616 in LA, Not Like Us isn't on this project at all. In fact, Kendrick did an actual teaser before this project drops, and that's like a song that's not on this project at all. To me, I feel like Kendrick was like, let me let y'all know how I'm feeling post-rap beef, but before I do the Super Bowl performance, I got more on the way. Am I delusional? That's fine.
Could be. He was just in a zone.
So Drake just recently announced that he's going for a round 2 against Kendrick, but let me let you in on a secret. The first round was never over for Drake. You see, he's still releasing songs dissing Kendrick. Why? Because Drake had a problem. The only way for him to regain his superstardom is to make good music. Now, why is that a problem? I'm going to tell you. Just listen. Well, after the world stops liking a musician, they fall down to what I like to call the second chance zone. If they make a good song or a good album, they'll become tolerated again. But if they don't, they'll fall to the he trash zone, where if in a few years they make some good music, they can slide back up again. As many of you may know, after the Taylor Swift situation, Kanye made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Everyone went from Taylor to, man, what's she mad for? He was right. They called Gunna a snitch. He dropped some good songs. They said, damn, y'all thought finna have to make that. But Drake's situation's actually a little bit different. Listen. See, Kendrick Lamar's song broke so many records that Drake has no choice but to make a mega hit. But nobody likes him, so no one's gonna stream his songs. He counters this by saying, hey, everybody said, everybody, okay, I'm just gonna release my songs not on Spotify because they're cheating. They like Kendrick more than they like me. And well, I hope y'all tune in. Nobody tuned in, but Drake isn't as dumb as y'all may think. Well, actually he is, but I'll explain why in a second. Shit. He starts releasing feeler songs. If the song's a hit, he releases it on Spotify. Everybody goes, yay, Drake's back. If the song is not a hit, he'll just be like, oh, it's just a free feeler song, no big deal. He's done this before with 0 to 100 real quick. I believe Hotline Bling and like a few other songs. Now here's where it starts to get wicked. Since Not Like Us has been released, Drake has dropped a total of around 14 songs with the likes of Lotto, 21 Savage, Camila Cabello, Playboy Cardi, and you probably haven't heard the song. Do you understand what I'm saying? When Drake drops a song, everyone listened. He dropped 14, no one listened. So on to plan B. He makes a post showing Rasheed Wallace, former Detroit Pistons player, saying, we going for round 2, baby, we finna win. But there's more to it than that. After Rasheed said this, not only did they win the next game, they won the championship when everyone thought Detroit was gonna lose against the stacked Lakers. Boy, I was hot. But I digress. So Drake is basically saying he's the underdog and he's gonna come back and win. Also, Kendrick is from Los Angeles, you know, it makes sense.
Okay.
And what better way to get people to listen to his songs than saying, hey, I'm finna start round 2 against Kendrick. But here's where Drake messed up. What he doesn't understand is, this isn't a rap battle. Like I explained in my Not Like Us video somewhere down there, to Kendrick, Drake is everything wrong with hip hop. So ruining Drake's life was a way to set things right. Bring balance back to the universe. So for all Drake knows, he can make this round 2 announcement, release a diss song, say, Kendrick, what now? And Kendrick could say, nothing. And that would be embarrassing. In fact, Kendrick's friend came out and said, they're leaving the Canadian Drake alone. So he finna just be dissing the air. Drake's friends told him, why don't you take a break from music and make people miss you? You can't tell Drake things in a bad way or he'll get mad. How do I know this? He allegedly removed Lil Yachty, his close friend, from a song for saying, Not Like Us was great. I could be wrong about all this though. I don't know him. Anyway, his response to his friends was, I got a plan. His therapist then quits on him. How do I know this? This man finna sit here and say, Kendrick Lamar told me to go see a therapist, but joke's on him. She quit on me because I won't let the Kendrick thing go. And I keep talking about women. This man said it as a flex. So what you can expect now is for Drake to release a super long album with a bunch of hits. And he might find 1 or 2, but I don't think he's going to reach the same levels of stardom he once had. What you can expect from Kendrick is a really good album to save the state of hip hop in his eyes. But Kendrick might throw in a Drake diss or 2 because Kendrick is very unpredictable. Now, show of hands of who else is tired of this beef. I know, me too. Drake, leave him alone.
I ain't tired. If they go back and forth again, I'm here.
You want another reason why Nas is one of the greatest? He's always shown love to Kendrick Lamar since day one and puts aside his own ego. When he dropped his album Life is Good in 2012, he named Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City his album of the year. He had enough humility to do that.
Nas, who dropped an album the same year as you, said that your album was album of the year.
Kendrick happened to name Life is Good as his favorite album.
My favorite album, Nas, Life is Good. Yeah, crazy album.
And was hyped to hear that Nas thought so highly of him.
That's amazing. It's Nas, you know.
Exactly.
You can hear the influence of my music. You can hear the influence of my storytelling.
On King's Disease 3, Nas also showed love to Kendrick on his song First Time. Pause if you want to read the lyrics. And now it's been revealed that Nas was the only rapper to congratulate Kendrick on his Super Bowl performance.
Wow.
In return, Kendrick's Man at the Garden on his new album GNX is direct reference to Nas's One Mic.
You deserve it all. Keep these bitch niggas away from me. Keep all my blessings faithfully. Keep my essence contained.
The way the track builds, the cadence is definitely paying homage.
Between the spots that I'm hiding in. Black it out as I duck back. Forget getting hit.
Nas also recently showed love to Kendrick on his IG. I also noticed this Kendrick line on Gloria that says, I gave you power.
I gave you power.
This song personifies Kendrick's pen, kind of like the same way that Nas personified a pew pew on I Gave You Power. It's just amazing to see two of the greatest lyricists show love to each other. No jealousy, no hating, no pettiness. Tell me these two are not some of the most real in the game. Are you a fan of Nas? Are you a fan of Kendrick? What are your thoughts on this? Please share.
That's dope. It's dope, man, to see love being shared like that.
Yo, this album is doing 400.
This shit not doing no 400.
400. Let me tell you this. Kendrick got us wanting to listen immediately. Kendrick dropped the album. I was on in 3 minutes. Not only because we think he might be dissing again, but like we're wondering what he's going to do now that he's at this point. So I think it's 400. This is a test of the gauntlet. This is not even a full snap. This is a half a snap to see if the shit works. first. You got all the Infinity Stones, let's see if it works. And what he's gonna see is that the world stopped because for whatever reason, after the battle with Drake, he's done a great job, but like, I think this is his moment. So even though I'm considering this a tape, 400. And if he does do 400, it shows me at this moment for new music, he has a slight leg up on Drake. And that's what we expect on a tape for Drake. Keep in mind there's a Drake and Party album coming. I'm telling you already, this album is gonna outsell that by a mile. Do you put that out? Do you think about the numbers? Do you think about how people are gonna process this? Do you fall back a bit? We've never thought that Kendrick would ever be in a place where he just drops an impromptu album and does Drake numbers. But he's here.
Crazy.
You never thought that?
This is a wild time, 2024.
All right, so Kendrick Lamar was talking about Jesus again, and I want to know what you think in the chat. Let me know.
So when you go through things, he's going with it. He's right there with you. He's talking to you. All you got to do is talk back. I walk on the beach every day, and I'm talking to God. I'm just talking. Like he the homie. I swear to God, I put that on my grandmama grave. I talk to him. Next to me. Like the homie. Just like the people that you grow up with, I don't care if you got to curse, you got to cuss, you talk to him as if you know him since you was born, the way he knows you. It's the truth. It's the truth.
I got some really dope Christian rap that you should check out that I think like could really bless you. I got the trap stuff too, but I got some chill Christian rap that I think, you know, it kind of emulate what Kendrick and Cole be doing. But here's what I think about what Kendrick said. Me personally, I love that he's the homie approach to it, especially if you're a new Christ follower. 'Cause a lot of people think that you got to be like, dear God, Father of the 7 seas. And it's like, it's not that complicated, bruh. I have a whole video on prayer that I think you should check out. You are supposed to come to Jesus as you are, jacked up, screwed up, messed up, in your sin, so that he can change your life. And in my last Kendrick video, a lot of people were like, well, he's being blasphemous. Pray for the man then. Pray for him. Pray for all these other people too. Because it's not about being right. It's about winning souls.
Kendrick Lamar just dropped GNX. But there's a secret second album coming. The proof? A mysterious, unreleased snippet he used to announce GNX is nowhere to be found on the actual album. Plus, leaked DMs show he made GNX super quick. We're talking days, not months. Remember when he destroyed Drake with 2 diss tracks in under 24 hours? That proves K-Dot can cook up heat faster than we thought. Fans are calling GNX a side project while he works on something bigger. The real follow-up to Mr. Morale might be right around the corner. Either Kendrick's playing 4D chess with all of us, or he's found a way to make masterpieces overnight. The king of conceptual rap might be about to shock us all with a double drop.
That's what people saying. Even academics said it was a tape, it wasn't an album. But we'll see. We will see.
People are saying that Kendrick Lamar could be dropping another album after GNX, but are they reaching or are they onto something? Listen, I'm completely satisfied with GNX, but I think people are onto something. There's signs that another project could be coming. Sign number 1, this snippet that he dropped right before the album surprise dropped wasn't on the album. 2, this will be Kendrick's first album that is not a concept album. And it's kind of a lot of people say it's giving like mixtape vibes, which true. 3, Kendrick's Heart series is typically a prelude. He always drops them before an album comes out. So the fact that this is on the project, you know, maybe the whole project is a prelude to another project. 4, I mean, look, Kendrick has been dropping things randomly all year long, but when it comes to his projects, he's usually way more intentional and more planned with what he does with his drops. Like the label didn't even find out till this morning that he was dropping the project. And for a Kendrick album, I don't know. I feel like there's just typically more planning that goes into it than that. Like even the description for the album is just one sentence. He asked us to watch the party die, but only so he could resurrect it. And so that's just tied to a song that he just dropped on Instagram, right? Like, so it's definitely different for him. So I would not be surprised if he doesn't drop a new album, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Like, there are definitely some signs there that something more is coming.
I think more is coming. I think more is coming. That's just my personal opinion.
This is why Kendrick's the fucking GOAT. This is why Kendrick's the fucking GOAT.
This is just from the title. So 616 is Canadian Father's Day, because Drake's
Canadian.
And he's talking about his parenting the whole time. Right. Tupac's birthday, because he used Tupac's AI, and then Tupac's estate threatened to sue Drake for it.
He used Tupac's AI. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then it's the O.J. Simpson's trial where the black glove was dropped. And then Proverbs 6:1-6 say, there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him, 17 haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, 18, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, 19, a false witness who pours out lies, and a man who stirs up dissension amongst brothers.
Do you get what I'm saying? Just the title has so many meanings.
So much meaning.
He talked about Drake using a V12. I thought he was talking about a car, like a V12 engine. You know what I mean? Recently, I found out that V12 is actually a machine for liposuction.
Oh.
And he was talking about how Drake doesn't actually work out and he gets liposuction to get his abs. Have you ever seen Drake's body? His abs look weird.
They doing a super deep dive, boy. You can bet on the internet.
Nah, Kendrick is going down in history. This is one of the greatest 5-tweet run ever. How do you drop an album out of nowhere? No noise, no rollout.
People do that.
No one knew anything was coming. Only Kendrick, the madman, can get away with it. Do you know how generational these 5 tweets in a row are? Like, these 5 tweets in a row have changed the trajectory of rap this year. Golly, like, what? The album's crazy. Album's crazy, and I'm glad he's getting it off his chest, because people were wilding, and I'm glad he responded to it. But damn, Super Bowl next year is gonna be great. Like, I know he's got something cooking, but historical run with them tweets, boy, because this album is something special.
Super Bowl is gonna be next level crazy.
Because of Kendrick Lamar's new album GNX, Lil Wayne is finally snapping and calling out Kendrick publicly in a way that could get us to one of the biggest rap battles of our time. The chaos started when Kendrick, on the intro track Whacked Out Murals, accused Wayne of being an idol turned enemy, claiming he blocked Wayne from headlining the Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans, a claim that left Wayne fuming. Within hours, Wayne fired back Twitter, writing, "WTF I do? I just be chilling and they still come for my head. Let this giant sleep. I beg you all. No one wants destruction, but I shall destroy if disturbed." This could be a generational clash, with Wayne representing an earlier era of hip-hop, while Kendrick, riding high on this brutally honest project, stakes his claim as the most dominant MC of the moment. And the stakes. Kendrick has already humiliated rappers like Drake and others who challenged him this year, but Wayne, fed up with what he calls disrespect and betrayal, is ready to unleash destruction if provoked. What's insane is how this moment reflects the growing division in rap, with some like Nas championing Kendrick as the genre's savior, while others, including Wayne's allies like Drake and Nicki Minaj, rally around Wayne, believing he deserved the Super Bowl spotlight. The question now, is Wayne really ready to clash with Kendrick's dominance? What do you think?
That would be a crazy epic battle.
Drake has reacted to Kendrick Lamar's brand new surprise album GNX, which was released without any prior notice. Kendrick Lamar has put together one of the biggest years of his career. He was the undisputed winner of the highest profile rap beef in years. He had a #1 song with Not Like Us. He's nominated for more than half a dozen Grammys, including Song and Record of the Year. He's going to headline the halftime show at next year's Super Bowl. This has cemented him as one of the biggest names in rap of all time, and now he's made his legacy bigger by surprise, dropping a brand new album, his first since 2022. The album GNX has been met with instant acclaim from fans and critics, and many say it's the best work of his entire career to date. It even ended up with his biggest rival, Drake, commenting on the album. He threw shade on the album by commenting on Instagram underneath a post on the album cover. In Drake's comment, he put a yawn emoji to show fans that he's bored of Kendrick's music and isn't interested in listening to it. It could also mean that he heard the new album and found it to be boring. Regardless, one thing is certain, and that is that Drake is not a fan of Kendrick Lamar. Fans online are chiming into this and sharing their thoughts. One fan said, "I actually think Drake has a point. Kendrick's new album is a bit too experimental for my taste. It's not bad. but it's not as catchy or accessible as his previous work. Maybe Drake is just feeling the same way. Another fan said, GNX is a masterpiece and Drake is just jealous. Kendrick is pushing the boundaries of hip-hop and Drake is stuck in his feelings. It's clear who the real winner is in this situation. And finally, one more fan said, I'm not surprised by Drake's reaction. He's always been a bit sensitive to criticism, and he probably can't handle the fact that Kendrick is getting so much praise. It's a shame that he can't just be happy for another artist's success. For this video's comment question, is the Drake and Kendrick feud boring now? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching.
Would y'all want a round two?
Kendrick really might just be the greatest to ever do this. He just surprise dropped his newest album, GNX. Let's talk about it. The entire project is co-produced by both Soundwave and Jack Antonoff. What a combo. Soundwave has credits on every single track, Jack has credits on every single track except for one. DJ Mustard also has credits on a couple tracks, and there are even some Kamasi Washington contributions. And you may have seen my previous video, but what stands out to me is that every single feature on this album is from the West Coast, and most of the artists are LA natives or Compton natives. For the entire year, Kendrick has been talking about putting the West Coast at the forefront of hip-hop yet again. And this is exactly how you do it. You give these smaller artists a chance to shine. GNX is the perfect album length in my opinion, 44 minutes long, as opposed to his previous studio album release, Mr. Morale, which was an hour and 18 minutes long, and like triple the depth and complexity of GNX. Mr. Morale was very emotionally heavy, and I think that's why not a lot of people are revisiting it, at least not as much as they do other Kendrick albums. In contrast, GNX feels like Kendrick was just having fun again. In a way, it felt like a victory lap for the insane year that he had in 2024. GNX obviously is a car, but something that I did a little research on that I found was noteworthy is that both Kendrick and the GNX were born in the year 1987. And the GNX is the final model in the Grand National line, so I'll let you think what you want about that. But I definitely thought it was interesting. Another interesting thing about this is that earlier today he teased a snippet online, and then an hour later he dropped the album. But that snippet is nowhere to be found on the album, so there is a lot of speculation going on right now. Does that mean that we are getting more music? Is there a double album? Are we going to get an Untitled Unmastered 2, something like that? Or is this simply Kendrick just flexing that his throwaways are so good that he can release them and not even have them on the album? Now, getting into a few of my favorites off the album. Whacked Out Murals, in my opinion, is the perfect intro to the album. The production stands out immediately, and the lyrics kind of introduce you to the subject matter that you're going to find on the rest of the album, which in this case is similar to what he had in the diss tracks that he released towards Drake earlier this year, but instead of having them pointed at Drake, it's more at the industry as a whole and dealing with Kendrick's role in the industry. Squabble Up is the snippet that we have had for months now. I'm so happy that we got it on the album. The SZA feature on this track is just out of this world. Reincarnated is a fan favorite, I can already tell. I think because it is reminiscent of old Kendrick. It has super great lyricism. I love the piano-based production. TV Off goes so hard. On like my second or third listen of the album today, I was driving and I was on the freeway going like 25 over the speed limit because this track just has that type of energy. I didn't even realize it. And I can't tell if in the future I'm going to get sick of hearing Kendrick yell mustard. I honestly don't think so. But as far as strictly bars go on the album, Heart Part 6 has to take the cake in my opinion. The storytelling is just immaculate on this track as Kendrick reminisces on the come up of TDE and looks towards the future of himself as an executive. It just is such a well put together album. I don't think that it's crazy for people to say that it's an album of the year contender. I agree with them. Now, where does it rank in Kendrick's discography? Obviously, it's a little too early to tell, but if I had to guess, it wouldn't be in that top tier of Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly. It wouldn't be in the slight tier below of Damn. It probably would be sitting pretty with Section 80 and Mr. Morale in that third tier, in my opinion. As always, I've added my favorite tracks off of the album to my New Music Friday playlist, which you can find the link to my Spotify in my bio. I update this playlist every single week with my favorite releases, that way you don't miss any of the good stuff, and so you don't have to listen to the bad stuff. A lot of the album also made it to my Best of 2024 playlist that I'm working on right now. It's been a running playlist that I've had throughout the year, and at its peak it had over 800 tracks in it. I've trimmed it down to about 400, and I'm trying to slim it even more to 250, and I'm going to rank all 250 songs, the best 250 songs of 2024 in my opinion. So go ahead and let me know below in the comments, what did you think of GNX by Kendrick Lamar? And of course, don't forget to follow me, Honeybee Reviews, for more music related content.
Many celebrities have reacted to Kendrick Lamar's new surprise album. First up was 50 Cent, who said, "Owned it again." Next was Eminem, who said, "This has to be listened to front to back, man. Masterpiece." Next, Will Smith said, "We ain't worthy of this album." Next, Kevin Hart said, "Speechless." Next was Lil Kim, who said, "He always got it." And finally, Jay-Z said, "Some real good stuff here." In case you didn't know, Kendrick Lamar has released a surprise album called GNX. Kendrick initially teased the release with a 1-minute video before the 12-track album was then released. The album features multiple appearances from SZA, as well as Kamasi Washington and a producer credit for Jack Antonoff on all but one song. The album caps off a huge year that saw Kendrick release numerous songs targeted at Drake. The songs led to him nabbing 7 Grammy nominations. He achieved major chart hits with Not Like Us and Like That. Despite their success, the new album doesn't feature any of the songs from earlier this year, but does contain the track Heart Part 6. After Drake released the Heart Part 6 in May, a diss track aimed at Lamar's ongoing song series. In an interview about his antics, Kendrick recently said, "I don't believe I'm an angry person, but I do believe in love and war, and I believe they both need to exist. And my awareness of that allows me to react to things but not identify with them as who I am, just allowing them to exist and allowing them to flow through me. That's what I believe. As for me doing the Super Bowl, rap music is still the most impactful genre to date. I'll be there to remind the world why. They got the right one." So it seems Kendrick is really proud of all of his recent work and is happy to represent the genre and promote it across the world. Luckily for Kendrick, the new album has been met with instant acclaim and is being praised by music fans across the whole globe. For this video's comment question, do you like the new album? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching.
He on another level now. Completely.
Everybody is listening to Kendrick Lamar's new album GNX or mixtape. There's people theorizing and shit, right? But let's talk about some numbers. I know I'm a numbers man. I like talking about numbers, and not because I only like an album if it sells. I just feel like it's vital for business purposes, right? But Kendrick Lamar is aiming to become the first artist to earn 3 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2024, with Squabble Up eyeing a #1 debut on next week's chart. But the interesting part is, it looks like he's going to be battling himself for the #1 song. Now, Squabble Up has the lead right now, but that can change in the coming days. But Squabble Up is looking like the big #1 hit. And I say this because Kendrick is currently on pace to occupy the entire top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100 chart with tracks off of GNX. Wow. Squabble Up is #1. TV Off is second right now. Whacked Out Murals is third. Luther with SZA is 4th, and then Hey Now is 5th, and I think Shabuzi is right after that, or it might be the Bruno Mars Lady Gaga song. That's 6th. But yeah, Kendrick is looking to occupy the top 5 spots on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, gang. That's crazy motion for a surprise release album. Again, no promo, no buy my merch beforehand. No like selling merch.
It was promo.
The vinyls are available for purchase, and when they send it out, it counts as an album sale. Now I respect all that stuff too. It's not me. Y'all know I'm not. I love physicals and I love vinyls and shit. You feel me? That's not me saying people like, but I'm just saying this is a surprise drop with none of that extra shit. It shows you the motion. Kendrick Lamar's GNX is aiming for the biggest hip-hop album streaming week in the U.S. this year. 350 million to 400 million streams projected. It will be the largest U.S. hip-hop album streaming debut since Drake's For All the Dogs, which did 514 million, which is crazy. On a surprise release, I say this once again, and it's only 12 songs. For All the Dogs was like double the amount of songs, if I'm not mistaken. And that's no shot at Drake. I don't want to fight no Drake fans. It is literally just the fact that I'm pointing out. And I think the filter rate, for those who know what I'm talking about, the filter rate was like 0.22% for his streams, which means like filter rate is like these aren't like autoplay streams that people cut off. These weren't people spamming a song over and over and over again, that stream farmed and shit, because they cut those when they count the numbers, they cut out those things. So they filter for those, and they don't include them in the streams because they're not organic streams. So the 350 to 400 million projection right now is based on organic streams, and that's fire, gang.
I'm not gonna lie. That's fire. I had a few other things I wanted to say and shit, but I'll probably talk more about those, like, my feelings about that album, where I rank it amongst, like, my favorite albums of the year. Since we're coming up on December, I'll probably do a, like, top 5 albums of the year for me and shit. But yeah, yo, how y'all feel about this, man? Shout out to Kendrick, man. Big fucking numbers. We're seeing that he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the rap game right now, bro. He dethroned Taylor Swift. I know Tyler just did that when he dropped Chromacopia, which I'm going to get into my Chromacopia versus GNX bag tomorrow, gang. But yeah, dethroning Taylor Swift ain't hard. Ain't easy, bro. Ain't easy. That shows you a big dog. That shows you a big dog. But until next time I'm out of here, make sure y'all hit that follow button on this account. Follow my backup account. That's linked in the caption, linked in the bio. You shitting me?
Big year.
But I ain't gonna lie. Oh, it's a bunch of layers in that shit too. You feel me?
Do you think it's an album? Yeah. Or you think it's?
Nah, we were just talking about that. I don't think it is. It's put together like one though. It's put together like one, but I don't think it's the one. I think this is I think this damn near just like an audio pop up.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Like the pop up, but the audio version.
100%.
Pull up, hit the stage real quick.
Hey, he's got. It's like, so you think it's like a methodical plan that he got? It's definitely a plan.
Yeah, this nigga like evil genius, I think, man, right now at this point.
Yeah, that's a fact right there. This man, I think this might be a fucking series. Ooh. Hey, you know what I was thinking? I was like, he come out with the GNX, then the next luxury sport.
That's what I was about to say. I swear to God, I was about to say that. You could go all series, yeah. That's hard. That's hard. Yeah, that's what I was looking at as like a series, because the GNX, these is all whips. Yeah, man, I need a new one. Right. Send the hoop.
Yeah.
Send the hoop too.
That's crazy for real. And I wouldn't put it past him.
That would be cold.
That'd be cold. For sure. Because I think he got mad Hershes from everybody. Like from mad niggas, so we'll see. We'll definitely see. Niggas is heading towards shit, so we'll see for sure. But being from the West Coast, being from LA, being from out here, I'm looking at it. I don't know if the whole world is looking at it. I see the plays being done. You know what I mean? Like you like uniting and getting people I really feel like he rallying the troops.
Yeah.
About to go
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like us against the world.
Right.
For real.
We all know that Kendrick Lamar has surprised us with his latest project, GNX, but there are 3 things about it in particular that I really love. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I loved about this project was his use of samples, and there are 2 samples I want to call out specifically. If This World Were Mine by Cheryl Lynn and Luther Vandross is one of my favorite songs of all time. The way Kendrick used the sample, it wasn't complex, and it didn't take different parts of the song and turn it into something different. He just kept the beauty and the integrity of the song, which I really, really enjoyed. I feel like Kendrick's generally more creative with his use of samples. I think that was definitely one of the reasons why GNX definitely feels like more of a mixtape to me, just in the way that he used that sample. The second sample I want to call out is Use Your Heart by SWV, and this was for the song Heart Part 6. It's not lost on me that this song was produced by the Neptunes. Obviously there's a whole thing with Pharrell and Drake, and Heart Part 6 is obviously a continuation of the Heart series, but also it's the same title as Drake's last diss that didn't really go down that well. Is it a coincidence that he used a Neptunes produced song for that particular song? I don't know. And if you're not familiar with why Pharrell is relevant between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, that's a story for another day. Second reason why I really love this project, Kendrick Lamar is not in the business of indirecting, and it shows. First song in Whacked Out Morals, and the first person that he called out, Lil Wayne, immediately. Snoop Dogg, immediately. I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. I don't know why Snoop Dogg was reposting the Taylor Made freestyle, which is obviously the diss where Drake used an AI generated voice of Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and it was a whole thing. And also calling out other artists. Now he doesn't name them specifically, but some of the people we can think of is like Nicki Minaj and Birdman, who were very vocal about the fact that Lil Wayne was not chosen to headline this year's Super Bowl. And also in the same vein, I really like the fact that there were no direct references to Drake in this project. project, I really feel like he did enough. Clearly would not like us earlier this year. And I think even including Heart Part 6 in this project is even another way just to say like, bro, I was checking for you over there with what you got going on. Do you know what I mean? Finally, the third thing that I love about this project is just so quintessentially West Coast, bro. I thought it was really cool that Kendrick featured local LA rappers. And I feel like every feature outside of SZA is from LA. Even Kendrick on Reincarnated, it just shows a more tasteful reverence to Tupac, with Kendrick matching Tupac's tone and cadence. It just felt more tasteful in comparison to Drake's tailor-made freestyle. And there were so many other elements throughout the project, like production, even his accent. I feel like there are so many things that make it feel like a homecoming style project. Like, he's done all of the other stuff, he's been experimental. Let's go back to the place where it all started and where he pulls a lot of his influence from. And I feel like that's part of the reason why this feels like more of a mixtape than an album. Still very intentionally homegrown and showcases his talent not only as a rapper but as a musician. But in any case, here are my top 3 songs. Let me know what you think and what you think about GNX as a whole, and until next time, follow for more music takes.
She did a good job. I like her perspective.
After listening to GNX by Kendrick Lamar a few times, because at first I wasn't really feeling it. I was like, yo, this is kind of mid, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not mid in terms of like, it's just a bad project, but mid in terms of Kendrick Lamar quality. I was like, yo, I'm used to listening to, like, for example, my favorite album from Kendrick Lamar is Good Kid, Mad City. From the album, I was like, yo, this is fire, bro. Damn is a close second in terms of that. To Pimp a Butterfly is like, it's not my cup of tea, but I see why people love it because it is a very different experience. I see why people say it's the greatest of all time. That's not my opinion personally. And then Mr. Morale comes in last for me personally, just because it's a very heavy album personally, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like listening to that kind of stuff. But again, I see why people say it's a great album. I'm not saying it's a bad album, but it's just, again, not my cup of tea. So my top 2 albums, Good Kid, Mad City and Damn, right? And then when GNX came out, it just sounded like it didn't have any cohesiveness to it. It didn't have any story to it, right? There was like, it sounded like it was a lot of bangers just put together on a project, and there isn't any like, you know what I'm used to from Kendrick, right? You guys that are Kendrick fans, you know what I'm talking
cohesive
about.
Album.
It didn't seem like there was any lore. It didn't seem like there was, it just seemed like they were all random, you know what I mean? It didn't seem like there was any like deep lyrics like what I'm usually, you know, expecting from Kendrick. However, I do feel as if we're getting an actual album, because this feels more like a mixtape. I'm hearing a lot of people say that, and it does make sense. Like the fact that normally in a Kendrick album, he does not include a part of the Heart series, right? So obviously he included the Heart Part 6, the real Heart Part 6 in this I'm just gonna call it a mixtape, but I'm not calling this an album, right? And a lot of people are talking about how in the video they put on YouTube when he put out the project, there was 2 GNXs. So are we gonna get an actual album? Because this does not feel like an album. I like it a lot. As of yet, to me, if this turns out to be an album, it might be his worst for me personally. Not because it's bad, but because of Kendrick standards. I'm not gonna be no recency bias BS, but yeah, like, what do you guys think of the album though? Like, I see everybody bumping that mustard or that like, but what do you guys think though?
People not thinking this is an album.
These are the top 5 songs on Kendrick Lamar's new album, GNX. Number 5, Whacked Out Murals. Such an eerie, dark instrumental. And I love how angry Kendrick is on this track, really venting out his frustration with everything that's happened this year, defending his legacy. Such an amazing way to open up the album. Number 4, Squabble Up. This one exceeded expectations that it set for me with the preview and the Not Like Us video. He's doing such weird things with his voice and his inflections. He's really having fun on it. And it's so funky and so West Coast. Number 3, The Heart Part 6. This one sees Kendrick giving us a trip down memory lane, reminiscing on where he got to where he is today, paying tribute to TDE and its members, and sending a message that despite him leaving the label, he felt it was important for him to keep those relationships together. It makes for a beautiful moment on this album and another strong addition to the Heart series. Number 2, TV Off. Mustard! Need I say more? The beat on this one is wild, and Kendrick is like out of his mind on this song. But number 1 for me is Reincarnated, a song that is so multi-layered that I'm honestly still digesting the true meaning of it. What I get from it in the first 2 verses is Kendrick seeing himself in past life in these musicians, and then in the 3rd verse is him reincarnated as his present self, having this conversation with God. It really is just mind-boggling storytelling and proves why Kendrick is a once-in-a-generation artist. But let me know in the comments your top 5 songs off GNX.
Top 5 songs. Let me know what you
There
got.
are a few major key takeaways from GNX after about 2 listens. First up, this is gonna make some of you mad, but get ready. This is Kendrick Lamar's best album since To Pimp a Butterfly. Yes, it is better than Damn, it is better than Mr. Morale. You might not notice it at first, but you can tell that there's a little bit of excellence sprinkled all over this album, and it's the only kind of sprinkle of excellence that you achieve after you win the biggest rap beef of the year. That brings me to takeaway number 2. I don't think this really is supposed to be like a major album release from Kendrick. I think this is an album that reads a little bit more like a mixtape of just a culmination of everything that's been building for Kendrick this entire year. Third main takeaway. Kendrick Lamar does pretty obviously make a turn towards a mainstream sound as well as sounds that are supposed to be geared towards memes. And I'm okay with both of those things as long as it's done well. And on here, it definitely is. Main takeaway number 4, at least at where I stand right now, Reincarnated is the best song on the album by far. The instrumentation is so lush and layered. There's this beautiful guitar passage in the middle that blends right into Kendrick's voice as he's getting grittier and angrier. You might call me crazy, but you can really see where Kendrick Lamar got his influence on this song. Yes, it's Eminem. The storytelling, the talking back and forth to himself, it's all extremely Eminem coded. Lastly, if you were looking for an album that was going to emulate some of Kendrick's past sound, perhaps the jazzier Kendrick from To Pimp a Butterfly or even Damn, you will not find that here. You will find an album that is completely different from anything that Kendrick has done so far. And this album only says to me that he's going further away from that direction. Yes, whatever Kendrick drops next, I feel like it might be more on the industrial side. But we'll just have to wait and see, and for now, enjoy this. Please tell me what you think about this album. I'm dying to know. Let me know, and fall for more.
People saying that this is not an album at all.
Seemingly, Lil Wayne has responded to Kendrick Lamar's reference to him on the song Whacked Out Murals. Kendrick said, "Used to bump the Carter 3, I held my Rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down." We've known that Kendrick Lamar is a fan of Lil Wayne, and this line is referencing the fact that Kendrick got selected for the Super Bowl over Lil Wayne, who has expressed interest in doing it in his hometown. And Lil Wayne put out an emotional video talking about how not being selected for the Super Bowl performance broke him, and he's trying to put himself back together. Obviously, the bar gets to Lil Wayne. He says, "Don't take my kindness for weakness. Let this giant sleep. No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed." I don't know about y'all, but Kendrick's bar did not seem like a diss in any way. All he said was he worked hard and it seemed to have let Lil Wayne down. I hope Lil Wayne isn't feeling any ways towards Kendrick or taking his frustration and anger about not being selected for the Super Bowl out on Kendrick. Because yes, Kendrick is the performer, but he might not outright be the reason that Lil Wayne isn't doing it. Because even if Kendrick wasn't selected, I don't know if they would have picked Lil Wayne to be the performer. Put it like this, right? If I'm really good friends with my coworker and then my coworker gets a promotion, I wouldn't be taking it out on my coworker. I would be taking it out on the person who decided to promote my coworker. They're both legendary rappers, and I would hate to see any beef between the two of them. I just feel as if there may be some miscommunication here.
But if it was some beef, I would love to see that. I ain't gonna
Kendrick
lie.
Lamar witnessed mariachi singer Deyra Barrera performing at a Dodgers game, and now she's featured on his new album. This is such a heartwarming story. Let's get into it. Several weeks ago, Deyra performed a tribute to the late baseball legend Fernando Valenzuela. It was during Game 1 of the World Series. Deyra spoke to Rolling Stone saying, "I was in tears singing for my friend who died at a packed stadium. And El Señor Lamar was there. He listened to me sing." And she believes the moment was a blessing from her late friend Fernando. Deyra says, "I believe in angels, and he is an angel for me." Deyra was in Kendrick's studio just a few days after that game. His team played her the beats that they were using for the album and gave her a description of the emotions that Kendrick wanted to evoke. Initially, she says, "I had no idea what I would record. I make mariachi, not rap. They told me they wanted my style, my voice. I had no idea how it was going to end up on the record." She briefly met Kendrick. She says, "He welcomed me and was so kind. He said, 'You have such a powerful voice. Thanks for coming.'" She says, "I had no idea what to say. Lamar is a genius, a maestro. Everything he makes is magic." And she actually didn't know in what capacity they would actually use her vocals. She was surprised when a friend texted her yesterday notifying her that he used her voice in 3 of the songs on the album. Her voice actually opens the entire album on the first song. She says, "My skin gets goosebumps because all of this happened so quickly for me." She hopes this opportunity can open other doors for her, saying, "Ever since I can remember, we've sung to pay rent and to make enough money to eat. It's been many years of highs and lows, but I haven't thrown the towel in because this is what I love." She admits that it is a difficult industry, but that she wants to take advantage of this God-given moment to grow as a singer. And she says, imagine if Kendrick invited her to sing at the Super Bowl with him. That would be incredible. I am so rooting for Deyra. I hope she gets everything she wants in life, and I'm so happy for her success.
That would be crazy. She's singing at the Super Bowl.
I think my least favorite person is the person who rushes to say something is mid or trash. And obviously we see that with the Kendrick album. Like, a lot of people are accepting it and fucking with it and talking about their favorite songs and shit. But you got, outside of just the Drake stands, you have the people that's trying to rush to be the first to call shit mid. Like, I'm not saying that can't be an opinion that someone has, but people will post in videos calling it mid 20 minutes after it released. Mind you, the album is 44 minutes long, gang. Like, it's fucking crazy. I even saw a tweet. Somebody said, oh, it's trash. I listened to it at 4x speed, bro. Like, I can't make this shit up. No funny shit. But for all y'all niggas that be tight and complaining about shit, that Mustard audio has already taken over TikTok. Kendrick is #1 trending in the world right now. Hate all you want, man. It's over, gang. It's over, gang. Yeah, I'm sorry, I guess.
He said it's over. All right, guys. So that was a TikTok compilation of Kendrick Lamar. I thought it would be interesting to go through and see what the internet is saying about the whole Kendrick Lamar album, the Drake. It's a lot going on. The Eminem showing love, the 50 Cent showing love. You know what I'm saying? What is people saying? A lot of people saying that this is not an album. You let me know what's your top songs from the album. If you made it this far, drop real one for real in the comments. This compilation was for hip hop. This was for hip hop. But look, till next time, self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you and you know it.